Anthony Hartwig here with another Coach's Corner out of the softball world. We're talking with Salem head coach Michael Thorpe today. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It's another year for Quaker softball, and I'm sure you are excited to start it and talk about this season. But before we get there, let's reflect on last year. We don't really get to have the exit interview with you guys after the season is over. When you take some of the lessons off of last year and you think of some of the way that the players that are coming back can grow from last year, what were some of your takeaways from the last season on the softball diamond?
I thought we were aggressive. We did pretty well through the beginning and the middle of the season. I believe that we played more games than anybody in the state in the regular season, or at least as many. We got all 27 of our regular season games in. I know there were some teams that got like 16 or 17 games in or less. So we were very fortunate there, had a good grounds crew and just timing of everything. But I think the marathon at the end of the season kind of weighed on some of those girls that haven't played year round and weren't used to that grind because down the stretch we kind of we didn't reach our peak at the very end, but a lot of exciting stuff happened during the season, and I'm really looking forward to picking it up this year.
Did it kind of teach you anything about this year about how you want to adjust things to reach your peak at the end of the season?
Yeah, we're going to pace it a little more. We give them some Saturdays off. We try to double up on the weekdays so they can recharge on those weekends. The weather hasn't allowed us to get out on the weekend too much anyway, so it's kind of went hand in hand with that. And then we also have two pitchers, I think, that'll compete for pitch time. And historically, we've had one number one eat 90% of the innings. So that might
We
help.
know that weather can take those plans though and just crinkle them up and throw them out the window.
Right.
So we were hoping for a better spring this year, Coach. Let's
Yeah.
get into this season and what your roster kind of looks like. I want you to break down the Quakers roster and talk about some of your returning players that Quaker fans are familiar with, and then talk about some new faces that Quaker fans need to get familiar with pretty soon.
Okay. Well, our cleanup hitter, Mac Zumbar, should start at first base. I think she only struck out 6 times last year, so she's a solid bat in there and continuing to get better year to year. Second baseman, sophomore Sophie Maniscalco will be back in that position, and I believe starting all freshman year, she'll be a whole different player this year, and we've already seen that. Even though she had a solid season last year. Shortstop is one of our captains, Chase Toy. She's a senior, a year-round kind of girl. Always in the gym, continuing her hitting lessons, that kind of player. Third base, we're going to kind of split it up a little between catcher and third base. We have Bella Brandt back, a junior. A lot of power there. And then Channing Toy, sophomore, will be back catching in third base. She's our leadoff hitter. I'm excited about her. I know she's going for that stolen base record. She's already got that on her list right now. Left field, Kylie Skinner, a senior, will be back with us. Played a lot last year. We moved Lauren Barton over to center field. She's a junior with a ton of athleticism. We're still trying to figure out right field a little bit, but we're really excited about the two pitchers we have. We have two freshmen to play year round, and they're two different style pitchers. They go to two different pitching coaches. And I think since I've been at Salem, this is the first time they've deviated from the pitching coaches that we've had for the past pitchers. So I'm kind of excited about that and the blend of the differences between the two. We have Kaylee Johnson, a senior, can play anywhere on the field, good utility player as well. Hadley Carlisle's a freshman with a big bat coming in. And we have Paige Mino, Sereni Wang, who have a lot of excitement. One of them's a freshman. And then Sammy Gaynor, I'm really excited about her bat. She's come on a long way. So that's pretty much our varsity roster there, and I'm really excited about what all of them bring to the table.
As softball fans know, everything starts in the circle with the pitching. You brought up you're going to have two freshman pitchers that bring kind of different styles to the circle. What's that going to be like for you as a coach to have a 1-2 punch where if a team gets a little bit used to one pitcher, you can throw another one in as kind of a wrench in that timing.
It's exciting because again they're two different styles, and I've coached high school for 12 years, and we've always had that one number one that we've seemed to had to go back to even if we switched it up a little. And these two I could really see complementing each other all season as they learn the ropes, and again down the stretch should save them both from getting kind of tired like we've had some pitchers in the past, and that's not a shot on those pitchers. I think even back Claire Janife might have pitched 166 of 169 innings one year, which is a lot to put on anybody. And Riley Troy last year, and then even my daughter Taylor Thorpe they were in that same boat where we seem to have to go back to them, and I don't see that happening this year. Both freshmen are really poised to take off and above their years in maturity. So we're really looking forward to that.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to that. We're going to miss Riley Troy in the circle, but good to hear that you guys are going to have a freshman in the wings that are stepping into that role. Let's talk about your offense and your lineup. What kind of things are you expecting out of the 1 through 9, and what kind of things do you think you're going to be able to do with this offense?
Well, a lot of them have been working hard. We stole 93 out of 100 bases last year, and that was legit stolen bases, not pass balls, wild pitches, and things. But where we had trouble was some of those elite pitchers we didn't get on to create that offense. So that's what we've been working hard on this year, especially those in-conference teams with those pitchers, and where you really have to grind it out and get the hits to get on. You can't really do some of that small ball and move the runners around, artificially a little bit. So they make you earn everything. So I mean, we might average one stolen base against certain teams in the conference where we get 6 to 7 in some other games and really create that offense we need. But we've been working hard on hitting the changeup, getting on more, hitting the speed, the movement. And I'm hoping that batting average ticks up because the stolen bases from there and the little things we can do should help us a lot put up some more runs.
Talk about the schedule you've put together. Obviously, everything starts with that league, EBC. Always good in softball. Obviously, Marlington right now has a lot of good female athletes in every season, so their softball team very good. West Branch always puts together a great team as well in the EBC. What are you looking out for in this conference, and what kind of things do you expect the Quakers to do inside the EBC?
Marlington and West Branch do set the bar, like you said, and Minerva, Alliance, Carrollton, those games. We were in a lot of close games. We got to finish those games and then match up with those two towards the top there. I know West Branch has a sophomore pitcher, Clary McKay, that does a real good job, and they'll be back as usual. And Marlington's just loaded up and down. So competing with those two teams and winning a lot of those close games, that's going to be the difference for us.
What teams pop up outside of the conference that you're excited to test yourselves with, and you're excited to kind of challenge yourselves with? Obviously, you guys have a smaller conference than most, so you're able to beef up your schedule with a lot of non-conference games.
Yeah, so we have Akron Springfield in a doubleheader, and we came back twice on them last year, and I know they're excited to play us. Those were two really good, high-scoring games. They're a perennial powerhouse, so we're looking forward to taking a trip down there this year. United, Beaver Local, those programs are definitely on the upswing, and they're always going to be a competitive game. We had a 1-0 and a 3-2 game last year with those two respectively, and I know they both want to get back at it, and their programs, even at the youth level, coming through. They're going to be somebody you're going to be talking about for years as well. Crestview is another team that we'll really have to match up well against. So we're looking forward to that matchup as well.
One of the things that is apparent about Quaker softball every year we follow it is the personality of this team and how much you guys are able to have fun with each other. Go over the personality of this team. You've been able to spend a couple weeks with them now. What are they like, and what makes this team unique?
Each year it grows. I mean, we got a lot of traditions we do and a lot of exciting things. The Tennessee trip. I know we touched on it last year, and we try not to talk about it till we get there a little bit because it is the highlight of the season in most ways. We did a princess fundraiser where the girls were dressed up as princesses. We raised some money there, but most importantly, they bonded. They had a great time, and it's another tradition we'll add to that. We do a Quaker Grace where we raise money for foster children, and then the girls get to go out and shop and give back. And even through that giving back, they get back, if you will. I mean, the team unity and shopping for those children, and just to see those kind of things, and to the fact that they want to do it is it's really rewarding as a coach, and exactly why we all coach.
So that answer brings up a couple of questions. First, I'll ask about giving back to the community like you guys do. Obviously, the Quakers have a great community that supports you guys every game. You guys have a really good crowd that comes out to your softball games. What's it mean to you and the players that you're able to give back to the community like you do?
It means the world. I mean, I know it means the world to me personally as well. And each girl is touched in that. I mean, they put their own touch on what they want to buy. I mean, they're thinking of those children and what they might need and what they might want. And I mean, it's just kind of special to watch, and it's growing each year in that regard. So I really love the fact that we're involved in that, and nothing gets us closer than things like that.
Then I want to ask about the trips you take. Obviously, Tennessee's been the one last couple of years, but this team has always been able to kind of take some road trips and grow and bond and build chemistry in that kind of aspect. What are the most important parts of those trips and make you want to make it a part of the schedule every year?
It's everything about the trip. Really hope maybe YSN can get down there next year, or the year after. We plan on keep going, just to kind of see it up close too, because nothing can really explain it. There's just something magical about it. It really brings us together. I had a coach in the past. I won't mention the name, of course, but she said, "Hey, we can't go over Easter. These kids can't be away from their families. And I understand that." But my reply was, "This is family for some of these kids too. I mean, they appreciate their own families at home, but I mean, we're family when we're out there, and our Easter dinner, optional church service on Sunday, the trip down, the music." Sometimes the little shenanigans, the practical jokes, and all that. Last year, you remember the bear story. I mean, we can go on and on. Every year has its own stories, and I'll have kids come back to me and talk to me about that. And sometimes it brings a tear to my eye because I know how special that trip is to the kids.
And I'm sure there are a lot of the families that kind of make that their spring break vacation. I'm sure there are families that go down with you and parents that go down with you. So, what have you seen from just the parent group and what that trip does to build unity within, the outside of the roster? But obviously, parent and they're getting along is important for the program as well.
Yeah, that's growing year to year. I think the first year we went down there, we might have had one parent go down. I don't think they thought we were going to go on the trip and raise that kind of money. But it has grown so much that I don't even know exactly how many parents are going down, but it's a lot. And I know at the fields, and even last year, I mean, just to see the bonding, we eat lunch together. They'll meet up with their kids. Sometimes they could take their kids out for Easter, and spend that with their family on Easter. So there's a lot of, it's growing year to year. And I really think that it's almost all, probably about 80% of the parents this year.
I tell you what, if you cram me in the back of the bus, I'll go
I,
with
I
you.
did message you guys. We got a cargo van, so there's one extra seat.
Cargo man.
There's a
Just
cargo van, one extra seat, a driver, and room for some equipment.
throw me in with some luggage. I'll be good to go.
There you go.
Um, when you think of some of the things that keep you coming back to coaching in this game, obviously you've been doing it for a little bit. What are some of your favorite things about coaching softball at this level in particular that keeps you coming back?
Well, I mean, all the wins, of course, searching for records and all that is important. But some of my favorite memories at the banquets is when somebody was told they were JV, or somebody was put in a certain spot in the lineup and they proved us wrong. And those are some of my biggest moments. I'll tell anybody is when somebody overachieves or proves you wrong. I guess I'm an underdog at heart, so when those stories come up, and they come up naturally, sometimes every year there's one or two. You're like, wow, that girl's really popping the ball. Those kind of moments, amongst everything else, they're special, and you remember them. In fact, we got a girl on staff that was told she was JV. She broke down in tears her sophomore year. She worked hard to try to get to varsity, and then we were ended up playing Lisbon, who at the time had a slower pitcher, and we were really struggling. And one of the girls couldn't make it there, so I did bring her up. And at the end, I said, "Hey, let me give her a pinch hit. Maybe that slower pitching she might have been used to." And she stuck the whole year, lettered, and ended up starting by the end of the year. So those stories there, and just the unity down on these trips, that means the world to us.
I mean, that's awesome because you see a lot of coaches that don't like to be proven wrong like that, and they might dig their feet in. But to, I think it's one of the best parts of coaching is when someone kind of proves
Right.
your idea wrong.
Right.
Obviously, you're involved in the travel ball as well. What is it about travel ball that you think is really growing and really making a lot of these high school teams a lot better? Seeing a lot more players, like you said, you have a couple of players this year that are playing year-round softball. What does that do for a kid to be able to get into the travel ball world?
I always say it speeds them up like a year or two on where their progression would been. So sometimes you see a sophomore, just a lot more like what a junior would be without it, and things like that. It gets to their athletic peaks, if you will, sooner. Just all those reps and grinding it out with tough teams, and just playing more in general. I mean, you see it in every sport, AAU, JO. I mean, the teams that have the girls to do that, they seem to be better in all those moments, and they seem to, they've been through more fire all year.
You said it before. Last year, you guys got to play a lot of games, a lot more than a lot of people in Ohio because of the field crew you had. I want to give you a chance to shout out the field crew and the people that make your field so playable and the people that put the work in to give you guys great playing service.
I'm a really, I don't mean to underscore anybody, but I really think Matt Freeman does a great job. He gives us flexibility and matching up opponents when we get rainouts, which I'm active in trying to find somebody. He's just done a great job of doing whatever we need to get games in. And it shows. I mean, we got all 27 regular season games in. I mean, nobody could get more. So, I give him a lot of the credit for organizing all that, allowing us to do some things on our own too, to make all that stuff happen. And then the Salem Parks District, getting the JV field ready and everything. I mean, and then giving us a place to play if our field isn't ready. I mean, that's just been big time.
Still had to dodge some weather last year and some adversity. What did that teach you about kind of softball and not taking it for granted?
Yeah, I said it before about the COVID year. No year is going to be taken for granted, and the trip was ripped from us 2 years in a row too. So each year, weather-wise and everything, we just take each game as we can get it. We're grateful to play. So again, if we didn't get all 27 games in, it doesn't mean we're not grateful, but I think you know me by now. We're going to try to get every game in we can because we need that experience to offset some of that travel too. If we get another 7, 8 games in, then maybe some of our oppositions that grow by the next year just got a little better.
Opening day is coming up. It's 2 weeks away now, well, less than 2 weeks away, actually. Um, what are your goals in the next week of scrimmages to get ready for opening day?
We've had 3 scrimmages to date, so we got one more with Springfield, who has a really good pitcher and a really good senior-laden team over there. I know a lot of those players from my building, and they're going to have a great season. So that's going to test us and kind of get us ready for a regular season. But we're looking to get to what we call the serious part of our practice, really just getting ready for those games, game-like situations. We scrimmage ourselves every Friday as well, and that's been helping us with both pitchers going on each team.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to also give a shout out to your coaching staff and the people that help you make this program as good as it is. We know that you can't do it alone, so I want to give you the time to kind of give them their flowers and their time in the light.
Okay, and I appreciate that because it takes more than one person, as you know. And Eric Markovich is my assistant. He's been there for a long time, an alumni. Does just a great job with the girls and everything else. And of course, he's going down on the trip. Kyle Gaynor is our JV head coach. Can't be a finer gentleman than that, and he's a great friend of mine now. And then Madison Markovich, Eric's daughter, who was an alumni that played with us with my daughter a while back. She's back on the staff, and I'm really excited to see. Everybody pitches in, everybody does everything for this trip. I mean, and as well as the season, there's no way one person could do it all. And without these people, I mean, that stuff just doesn't happen for the girls.
Coach,
I
thank
did
you.
want to thank Juan too.
You're good. Go.
Sorry, I just wanted to thank Juan. He's been a good mojo for us.
You can't deny the good mojo, right? If someone's
right.
bringing good mojo, then keep them up. Coach, we thank you so much for your time today and giving us a good preview of the Quakers season. We wish you the best of luck this year, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, and I'll see you in that cargo van.
Let's go.
All right, have a good one.